Thank you for volunteering to serve as a mentor for the Federal Bureau of Prisons Faith-Based Reentry Program. This is an exciting opportunity to make a real difference in someone's life. Those returning to society after spending time in prison face a variety of problems. Finding shelter, food, clothing, a job, reconnecting with family, obtaining health care and transportation. These are just a few of the hurdles that must be overcome to successfully make the transition from incarceration to community life. As a mentor, you'll work to assist men or women in their efforts to reintegrate and become productive members of society, and you'll help them stay out of prison in the future.
It's not uncommon for the people that you'll be working with to suffer from low self-esteem and fears of failure, hopelessness, suspicion, and apathy. Many have been in and out of prison their entire lives. One reason for this is that when they're released into the community, they find themselves back in the same circumstances they were in the past, surrounded by the same influences, where they can see no options other than their familiar life of crime. As you can see, your role as a mentor is a critical one. It's essential that recently released individuals have someone like you to serve as a positive influence, to provide the moral and spiritual support necessary for their success. No doubt, there will be challenges, and it is normal for you to wonder what you've gotten yourself into. But rest assured, you will not be meeting these challenges alone.
You'll be working with a team of other mentors who, like you, bring a wealth of skills, resources, talents, and life experiences into the program. And you'll have the help and support of a Life Connections community liaison or chaplain. Also, the people you will be mentoring have already begun work toward a successful reentry. In fact, they will have been working for up to 18 months prior to their release. Before we talk further about your role as a mentor, it will be helpful for you to understand how the Bureau of Prisons faith-based reentry programs help individuals prepare for a successful transition from inmate to productive member of society.
Life Connections and Threshold programs run in several sites around the United States under the direction of the Federal Bureau of Prisons Chaplaincy Services. These programs have many success stories to share. John is one of those success stories.
An administrator in the External Relations Division for our church contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in mentoring a newly released inmate, and I agreed. It's been a wonderful experience for me and for the life of my church family. Not only have I developed a great friendship with John, but he is also a beloved friend of our broader circle of friends in our church and community. John participates in our church community and is an extremely hard worker and good citizen. My experience as his mentor has surpassed all expectations. I believe the program in which John participated in during his final years as an inmate has had a very positive impact on his life. He's been a blessing, and we're all happy to spend time with him.
Inmates have few choices when it comes to their lives. Most decisions are made for them. From when, where, and what to eat, when they will rise, when and if they will exercise, and when or even if they will see their loved ones. In that regard, the Federal Bureau of Prisons faith-based programs are unique experiences for inmates. These programs challenge inmates to make decisions through intense study and personal reflection.
The structure of the Life Connections and Threshold programs are different, but the program goals remain the same. Life Connections is an 18-month residential program with intense programming 7 days per week. The Threshold program is a condensed version of Life Connections, and inmates do not live together in the same housing unit. It targets inmates who are ineligible for the Life Connections program because of the amount of time remaining on their sentence. Both programs use interactive journaling, a structured writing process that motivates and guides participants towards positive life change. You'll have the opportunity to experience interactive journaling yourself when you begin work in your mentoring training handbook.
Both programs are faith-based but non-denominational. They are not specific to any particular religion. Jewish, Christian, Muslims, Buddhists, and others all gather together to strengthen their faith and values for living. Spiritual guides from different religious traditions help prepare each participant for the challenges and opportunities of reentry by tapping into the sacred writings, teachings, and customs from their religious traditions and value systems. The goal is for inmates to gain understanding, develop deeper spiritual roots, and create a life plan of personal growth. During their first critical months after release, your role as a mentor will be to partner with participants, to help them continue the work they started while incarcerated. You'll serve as a good role model, a spiritual guide, and will work with them to keep their goals and commitments to become productive, successful members of society.
Life Connections and Threshold mentors work in teams. Though you will be assigned some specific responsibilities for a participant, your team will work together throughout his or her community reintegration process. Each team consists of mentors and a team leader mentor. This team approach gives you more opportunity to assist participants in many life areas. For example, one mentor may be an excellent spiritual leader, while another may have teaching skills required to help a participant learn the basics of math and reading. Yet, another may have contacts for housing searches. Additionally, mentoring teams will work with a Life Connections community liaison or chaplain. The community liaisons work with congregations and civic organizations to set up mentoring teams, link every participant with an appropriate mentoring team, and then serve as ongoing partners. They provide initial training materials as well as advice and support to mentoring teams throughout the mentoring process to ensure questions are answered, concerns are addressed, and the resources are available to ensure success. Likewise, the participant will be well prepared to work with the mentoring team.
Participants in the Bureau's faith-based programs are tasked with setting and working on positive life goals in several areas. These include managing mental and emotional health, decision-making, relationships, personal responsibility, wellness, education, daily living skills, use of leisure time, and personal spirituality. Participants also engage in victim impact programs and community service projects. Participants of the Life Connections program in particular are required to complete 500 hours of community service. These experiences prepare them for a life outside of prison as they heighten their awareness of the impact their actions have on others. In preparation for release, the participant is consulted on his or her reentry plans. Particular emphasis is placed upon community, faith, and spiritual resources available at the release destination. And if a mentoring relationship is established, the inmate is counseled on what is expected of him or her within the mentoring relationship.
Through this counsel, participants learn that a mentoring partnership is an agreement between parties who willingly share experiences and expertise to increase the opportunity for successful reentry into the community. Participants learn that when they invest in the mentoring team relationship, they will experience life coaches willing to listen, provide feedback and guidance, and cheer them on as they achieve their life goals to become productive citizens. So you'll have the support of a team, the liaison or chaplain, and a well-prepared, motivated participant to work with. Additionally, you'll have a solid, well-developed plan of action to follow.
The mentoring program begins by matching inmates with mentoring organizations about 6 to 9 months prior to their release from prison. When a match is made, the mentoring group and the participant sign a covenant which details the commitments and expectations of the reentry partnership. As soon as the covenant is signed, a specific mentor will be assigned the task of making initial contact with the inmate. Most likely, this will be done by mail or email. If the person is within driving distance, it can also be done face-to-face, within the policies of the Bureau of Prisons. The inmate also will begin corresponding with the assigned mentor and the congregation or community group via letters. He or she will relay personal history, such as the reason for incarceration, family structure, and discuss special talents or skills that can be put to positive use in the new community. As the mentors get to know the inmate via correspondence, they will begin to work with him or her in setting goals to achieve upon release. Where will the participant live and work? Does he or she need job training or continuing education? Remember that you'll have the support of your mentoring team and liaison or chaplain to help with this process. The main goal is to provide a safe, welcoming space for the participant, offering love, compassion, hope, and direction.
Once your participant is released, your team will be meeting with him or her on a weekly basis to assure he or she is staying on track for meeting goals for positive life change. And you'll also be staying in contact in between meetings. You'll work with the participant to empower a successful transition to daily living outside of the prison. In your role, you will be with the participant as he or she confronts the challenges of finding housing, employment, and the joys and struggles of personal relationships. It's a dynamic process that will last from 6 months to 2 years as you witness your participant's personal growth. Once immediate needs are met, your role as a mentor will continue its focus upon helping the participant develop and meet positive life goals. In Life Connections and Threshold, participants work on setting and attaining SMART goals. You'll have the opportunity to explore SMART goal setting in your mentoring training handbook, so you'll build a good understanding of the process. But briefly, SMART stands for goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, rewarding, and trackable. As they depart the program, each participant sets re-entry goals in the same areas we discussed before: managing mental and emotional health, decision-making, relationships, personal responsibility, wellness, education, daily living skills, use of leisure time, and personal spirituality.
Your participants' SMART goals will serve as your roadmap for mentoring. They will help keep you focused on the specific life areas he or she has been developing in the residential part of the program, giving your relationship structure and purpose, and ultimately helping your participant move in a positive direction toward a healthy, useful life.
Mentors play a major role in helping participants re-enter society. Sadly, there are hundreds of ministries and community partners working to help prison inmates, but few are waiting to help when they get out. This is why you're so important. As we touched on briefly at the beginning of this program, some offenders end up returning to prison because they have no one in their lives who believes they can succeed in the community or is willing or able to support them. The primary role of a mentor is to provide positive support, welcome the newly released ex-offender back into the community, and simultaneously function as a safety net. So, how will you proceed? What skills and resources do you already have that you can draw upon to meet this challenge? These are some things you'll want to consider as you plan your mentoring activities.
Be honest with yourself and your team leader about how much time you are able to contribute to mentoring. Mentoring requires a wholehearted commitment. You'll need to keep a consistent schedule with your participant. Newly released individuals will have many issues to face. They can easily be wounded and lose hope should your commitment wane, or should you back out of the relationship prematurely. The person for whom you will serve as a mentor will be depending on you for help. You'll serve as a trusted guide. You'll offer support and assistance as the participant goes through difficult times, faces new challenges, and works to correct past mistakes and problems. Before you begin, make sure you have the time and are being realistic about your commitment.
Believing in the program and supporting your participants' goals are also keys to success. However, you'll want to be honest with your participant about the problems he or she may encounter. You'll want to offer continuing encouragement and support of self-initiative. Don't allow your participant to become too dependent on you. The goal is for the participant to feel a sense of accomplishment by meeting his or her own goals.
Be a good listener. This sounds simple, but all of us can struggle with really listening. We can all tend to be easily distracted, especially with all of the new technology we have. Here are a few basics. When you're with your participant, avoid formulating a response while he or she is still talking. Ask questions for clarity. Avoid talking before your participant has finished speaking. Maintain good eye contact. Be aware of your body language and the emotions behind your spoken words. Put your cell phone away and on vibrate, and do not answer calls when you are with the participant.
You will, in all cases, want to display strong moral values and be a positive role model through active coaching and spiritual guidance. Most participants leave prison feeling insecure and without a positive support group. Mentors provide a welcoming environment for participants. They help them become part of a larger community that directs participants towards positive, productive lives and away from behaviors that lead to recidivism. There are a variety of groups that go into prisons and are available to help with issues prisoners face. Be careful not to allow your own biases to cloud your conversations with the participant. Instead, be respectful of the religions and ideologies of other groups and organizations.
You will want to be aware of appropriate boundary issues. You will not want to provide gifts or money to any participant or to his or her family members. You also should not take gifts or money from your participant.
Learn to say no. If you've decided to work as a mentor, you'll likely want to help whenever and however you can. You'll do yourself, your family, and the participant a great disservice if you don't exercise the freedom to say no. It's okay to say, "Let me get back to you," if the situation allows for a delayed response. It's easier to undo a no response versus a yes response. Don't give in to pressure to respond immediately.
You will not want to get involved or try to act as a mediator between your participant and his or her significant other, spouse, or family member. Don't get caught in the middle. Should you feel yourself being drawn into relationship issues, you'll want to refer your participant to a qualified relationship counselor. If he or she asks you to be a go-between while the person is still incarcerated, suggest the inmate ask the chaplain for help.
Don't give legal advice. You can share any past experiences that you've had, but make sure the process and the outcome is presented as your experience and not as a representation of the way things are done.
And don't feel like you have to have all of the answers. Your willingness to be available, to be an encouragement, and to help is invaluable. If you are in need of guidance or information, contact your community liaison or chaplain. Whether you are serving as a mentor and mentoring team leader or participant mentor, it takes a person of great spiritual and personal maturity to minister to people newly released from prison. After all, you will be mentoring ex-offenders, and some may not succeed in the program.
Your safety is the first priority. Some participants may have ulterior motives. They may simply be seeking to take advantage of the program and of you. Some will attempt to make you think they're serious about the mentoring relationship, when indeed they are not. Others will seem to be doing well and then suddenly relapse into criminal behavior.
This cannot be emphasized strongly enough. If you sense that your participant is not responding to the mentoring relationship, if you suspect criminal activity, if you feel unsafe or threatened, if you believe the participant is conning you, contact the Life Connections Chaplain Program Manager or the probation officer immediately. Likewise, if the program staff becomes aware of any concern regarding a participant, you and your team will be contacted and advised to end the mentoring relationship immediately.
Be sure to look over the list of additional do's and don'ts in your mentoring training handbook. In your work with your participants, always keep these do's and don'ts in mind. Refer to these lists often. Consider reviewing these lists during meetings with your mentoring team, or using a particular entry as a springboard for discussion during meetings with your mentoring team when your participant is not present. You'll want to avoid commenting on or attempting to persuade participants to your personal point of view on things, such as faith or politics, during interactions.
Don't side with your participant against authority. No system is perfect, and things will come up. But when the participant has a conflict with authority, it's an opportunity to encourage him or her in a new attitude and perspective on authority. Even if there was an injustice, you can share the proper way to respond that will bring peace to the participant rather than more trouble. Once again, we thank you for embarking on this journey. When mentoring relationships are appropriately planned and implemented, there are possibilities for wonderful successes. During their first critical months after release from prison, the likelihood for success of participants will surely be increased because of people like you, who are willing to help them keep the commitment to the positive life change they made.
Rest assured, you also will reap rewards from this experience. You'll find mentoring a two-way street, and you'll be surprised at what you'll learn from your relationship with your participant. If you received positive mentoring from someone in the past, this is your opportunity to reciprocate by impacting someone else's life. By serving as a mentor, you will enhance your personal skills and learn more about yourself as well.